In most of my game comparison videos, I compared Stellaris to something else, so I thought I'd break away from that a little bit. So in this video, I'm going to compare Endless Space 2 to Galactic Civilizations IV with the new Warlord update. Both these games are space-based, turn-based strategy games, and they both have a lot of DLC, so I'm going to leave everything turned on. And the first thing I'm going to do is go through the game setup. One thing to remember is that Endless Space 2 came out in 2017, whereas Galactic Civilizations IV came out in 2023. So there's a little bit of an age difference between the two games, but I still think ES2 stacks up pretty well against most of the modern games of today. So when you start a game, you can choose your empire, and I've got all the DLCs active, so there's quite a few here. You can choose your competitors and their colors. You can choose the session name, you can choose session mode, whether it's single, protected, or public. You can allow custom factions, set the number of competitors, set the speed, game difficulty, shall not pass, pirates difficulty, galaxy shape, so there's several to choose from here, number of constellations, you can go from unique to many, or is that unique? Yeah. Galaxy size from tiny to exceptional. Galaxy density, again, from low to random. If you want, you can get into the advanced settings, and here you can set the age of the galaxy, node connectivity, star-based planet order, galaxy generation speed, empire spawn method, which is standard, home system quality. Got this one set on normal. Resource abundance, anywhere from low to high, anomaly frequency low to high, and the rest of these are the same also. Curiosity frequency and special nodes frequency. Then you can go back, and that's it for setting up a game. You click start, and you've started your first game of Endless Space 2. Setting up a game of Galactic Civilization IV is similar, but it's got more bells and whistles, simply because it's a newer game. So you can make a custom civilization, or you can choose one from over here. As you see, I made up one called the Gorn. I'm a Star Trek fan. You see their abilities listed here: colony ship, flagship, cultural focus, crystalline for their phenotype. You can also download civilizations from the workshop, which I think is pretty cool. So I might go back and get some of these later. Hadn't noticed that before. So when you're happy with your civilization, you can click next. You can customize it also right here if you want to. You can click next. You can set the galaxy difficulty, game pacing, research rate, similar to Endless Space 2, the number of minor races, hostile entities, civilization proximity, in other words, how close they are to you. This will tell you how many memory cores you need for the game settings that you set up. So the higher the settings, of course, the higher the needed memory and CPU cores. You can set the galaxy size anywhere from large to small. Yeah, tiny. Okay, there we go. Number of sectors, you can go any from singular to many. Star frequency, occasionally. Habitable planets, common. Sometimes I like to set it to abundant. I just think it's more fun that way. Extreme planets, how many of those there are, resources, how common those are. When you're done with that, you can go into advanced settings if you want to. Here you can set like your victory conditions. You can disable tech training, tech brokering, AI surrendering. Victory conditions, you can turn them on or turn them off. I turned off influence. When you're done with that, you go back and click next. And here you can choose your opponents. Plus, you can have some random ones, and you can fill up all these slots with opponents if you want to. Anyway, so that's after you're done with that, you click Start Game, and you're off to the races. And it's really pretty similar to the setup, the way Endless Space 2 sets up. At the start of the game, you get a nice intro, nice lead-in video. Skip that. Then you get a nice little backstory here on what's going on. So the first thing I'll cover is the tutorial. Endless Space 2 has got a pretty good tutorial. It's gives you like technology screen, the system. If you click on a planet, then you get a tutorial for that. So wherever you go to, it can provide you guidance. So overall, tutorial's not bad. I like it. I won't go into too much detail on this. You get a nice introductory video for this game also. We'll skip through that. And you also get some background lore on your race, just like in the Space 2. Let's skip through that. In this game, you've got advisors who help you walk through the game. I've also got a tutorial that helps you through things. This has got a really good tutorial also. I like them both. So that's the tutorial in Gal Civ IV. Let's take a walk around the user interface for Endless Space 2 first. When you start out, the tooltips for the tutorial usually appear in the upper right hand corner, but not always. Depends what you're looking at. You've got an economy scan, which really takes you into a hacking mode, and this explains what the hacking mode is. Another tooltip. Over here is kind of like a summary of all the stuff for your empire. Empire summary, the Senate, the economy screen, research, technology, your ships, heroes, quest and events. Haven't gotten any of those yet since this is a new game. Diplomacy, haven't got any of that since this is a new game. Tells you how much dust you've got, what your manpower is, how much influence you have, and these are grayed out. Like I said, this is a new game still. And wherever you put your cursor on, you get a display of what it is on the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. So pretty good. You can also go over here. This tells you what ships you have left to move. And Endless Space 2 uses hyperlanes. So I right-click on a hyperlane. As I move down the hyperlane, it opens up and I can see more of what's going on. You get alerts over here on the right edge. This tells me I've recruited a hero. This tells me I found a new luxury resource. Same with this one. Here's the end turn button. The interesting thing is when you click it, if you've got unresolved things you need to do, like the research queue is empty, it tells you. Unassigned hero, so I have to do something with him. Construction queue is empty. I'm not building anything on my planet, so I need to do something about that. So pretty good user interface. That's Endless Space 2. Just like Endless Space 2, GalCiv IV makes good use of the edges of the screen for the user interface. Up here at the top gives you victory progress and what your scores are in a number of categories. This gives you your visors. This will give you an empire summary. This shows you the number of planets you have. This shows you your ships. This shows you shipyards and star bases. And this gives you the monthly news report, which we don't have any right now because it's a new game. Over here it gives a breakdown of your resources basically. Modules, food, control, manufacturing output, research output, credits or monthly income, and it tells you what you're researching if you're researching anything. If I select a ship, a display comes up here in the lower left hand corner with a bunch of stats on what it is and its characteristics. Down near the bottom is a menu bar. It gives you a civilization. This requires a policies technology, so I can't look at that yet. New game. Leaders, cultural progression, executive orders, the data bank, galactic challenges, diplomacy, artifacts, a bazaar, galactic bazaar, and a trade routes. This is similar to the Endless Space 2. When you click it, if you got things you need to do, it'll tell you what it is. Like I need to do research. I've got idle ships that I need to move. So I'll just move him. Unlike Endless Space 2, this does not use hyperlanes. It'll take me to the next ship that's idle. I bet I'll move him. I've got an idle shipyard, so I need to take care of that. More idle ships. Okay. Anyway, this won't let you go through without taking actions on unresolved situations, so it's just like Endless Space 2 in that respect. I've jumped into a more mature game of Endless Space 2 so I can demonstrate some of the game features a little better. So here on the main screen, I can scroll in or out. This shows what civilizations I've contacted, and this is me in the blue. So I can scroll out, scroll in. If I want to get a readout of a system, I click on the system, get a tooltip in the left-hand corner of what it is. Click on it. This gives me a breakdown of the planets in that system. Colonize, colonize, colonize. This one's inhospitable, so I can't colonize it yet. And it tells me what's being built in this system. If I want to take a close look at a planet, I just click on the planet, and it gives me some stats on the planet. So to get back out to the next level, I close that, and to get back to the main view, I close that. So it's kind of like a three-layer thing. You don't scroll in and out all the way like you do in other games. This gives me my current quest. Here I can do an empire summary. So this gives me a systems management screen, a bunch of stats on my planets. I can go to the Senate, see my active laws, past active laws. Got a population Senate and the leading political parties. I can take a look at my economy screen. This tells me what system developments I have that I can put on my planets. They usually take luxury resources to build, so that's where the luxury resources come in handy. Research. This is kind of unique in my opinion. The research circle, basically. So there's 4 categories here. Similar to most games. It's just a little bit different presentation. These are, let's see, these are completed, and the gray ones are suggested. So it's pretty good. I like this. It took me a while to get used to it, but I like the technology circle, I guess I'd call it. Military status gives you a fleet list, the battle techs available to your fleets, the ship designs. Heroes gives you a list of heroes. Right now I've got 3. Gives you their stats. Quests and events. This is what's going on right now. This is current, what I've completed, ones I've failed. Diplomacy. So right now I've got 2 races I can conduct diplomacy with. I like the way this presents itself too. Pretty good. So that's the major features of Endless Space 2. I've loaded a more mature game of Galactic Civilizations IV also, so I could show some of the main features this game has. Upper right corner, it gives you the date and also the current turn. This shows you your top opponent and his stats, some of his stats in some categories. This shows you where you're at and your stats. I just recently won this game, so I've got 100% there. These are resources that I've come across during the game. As you discover more, they get added to the top bar, and you start collecting them for use later on in the game. Over here is my diplomatic capital income, control per month, manufacturing output, and of course my monthly income. Here's my current research. If I click on that, I don't know why this guy pops up. I'm already done with I played this game for a long time. But anyway, you have 3 things to choose from that are suggested. This is what I'm currently researching. If you don't like these, you can also choose from these. And these are the ones that are the quickest, usually the quickest to research. You can go to the technology library and find out what each thing stands for. I like Terror Stars, pretty cool. Dreadnought Doctrine. So you can go back, go to the Tech Navigator, and you can pick out the technology you want to research. You can also go to different branches by clicking on these. And this is something that wasn't available in the early access game. So in the early access game, I really didn't like the tech trees. I couldn't jump back and forth like I wanted to, but this was a good fix. So I'm sure they didn't listen to me, but they fixed it anyway. So some kudos to them. So close that. This gives me tells me about a pirate threat. I've been asked to help exterminate them. Good deal. Upgraded lasers. That must be the last thing I researched. Not sure. This shows you a breakdown of the current fleet you've got selected or whatever is selected. Here you've got civilization, laws, and policies. Again, I'll get rid of him. So this is pretty well drag and drop. I can get rid of that by clicking on it and drag something else in there. And these give you different bonuses for your civilization. Pretty good. Here's my leaders. I've got 4 that are recruitable. I've got all these ministers. I've got all these governors. Got a bunch of couple of diplomats, not a bunch. Got some commanders and factions. This is the cultural progression. These are ideologies that you can choose for your civilization, and they give you bonuses as well. A lot more than they have in this Gal Civ IV. Here is the executive orders. So you can do like invite leaders. It costs you some control, but you can invite leaders to join you so you can recruit them. Forced overtime gives you some forced overtime, of course. So there's all kinds of options here you can do. Executive orders, data bank. If you like looking at stats, this is the thing for you. Gives you civilization breakdown, timeline. Looks like I took off here. A report of who does what. Most powerful ship is this one. So that's cool. Stats, a lot of stats. Core worlds, a bunch of stats on the core worlds. Treaties, which I don't have any right now. So if you're into data, if you're into stats, this is the one for you. Galactic challenges. So these are challenges I can take on if I want to. They're available. Just click begin challenge, and you can take it on. After the challenges, you've got diplomacy. I've got 3 empires I can negotiate with right now. Gives you all the pluses and minuses. After diplomacy, I've got the vault. And you can have more than one. This can hold your artifacts. You can have more than one artifact available. And these also do different things depending on what you choose, obviously. Here is the Galactic Bazaar, which is where you buy and sell stuff. Pretty self-explanatory. And this is the trade route. So these are the trade routes I've got. I've got 3 right now. And that is the basic, that's the main features of Galactic Civilizations IV. So I'm going to keep this at a high level. I did that on purpose, so this wouldn't turn into an hour-long video. I hope you got a good comparison of the 2 games out of this. And so this is Rich from Loner Strategy Games. I'll see you later. Bye.